Welcome back to the FanSpeak Network and another episode of the NFL Betting Card Live. I am Meg. You can find me on Twitter at Megs08DFS. And I'm, of course, joined by my guys each and every Thursday, live at 3 to discuss the NFL Betting Card. That's right. We go through all the favorite bets on the NFL Betting Card. We cover spreads, we cover totals, we cover props, we cover anytime touchdowns, all our favorite bets on the board. And, of course, it's all free on FanSpeak.com. So check that out. I'm of course joined by Astaire and Tyler Hicks, and we are ready for week 8. So I'll go to you first, Spread. How are you doing? How was your week 7? And are you ready? How do you feel about the week 8 board?
Yeah, Meg, I'm excited to be here. Rough morning on week 7, mainly because this is my favorite team. What an absolute disgrace.
Hey, I'm with you. Look at the shirts behind me, you know.
Oh, yeah, we'll talk. Hey, it looks like we had more than one disgrace last Sunday, and we'll get into that
multiple
as well.
Disgraces.
You know what? As a fun fact, I found out I have a friend at UPS, known for over 20 years. He's a professional arm wrestler, one of the best in the world.
Okay.
He's actually good buddies with Tyson Bagent's dad.
Really?
So Tyson Bagent's dad is one of the best arm wrestlers in the world.
I wish
I would
known
have this before I placed the bet, because I'm not going against that kid again.
Yeah.
Really strong guy there. So I guess that's the one solace I could take away from probably Josh McDaniels. I mean, this guy, he has terrible losses, like Taylor Swift writes hits, right? I mean, every time she goes platinum, he has another terrible loss, it feels like.
I love it. And I love the arm wrestling nugget. I mean, that's just perfect. I love to have that extra information. I mean, I'm never going against Tyson Bagent either then. I mean, all right, Tyler, how are you doing? How was your week 7? And what do you feel about week 8, the week 8 board?
Week 7 was not fun, Meg. I think I lost every bet up until the Sunday night game. I absolutely hosed this Sunday. It was not a fun one. Week 8 should be definitely a bounce back week. I think we're going to read the board a lot better. And I think I found one underdog we're all going to love here on this week 8.
Oh, I like that. I'm still looking for that. Just to let you know, the NFL betting card is free on FanSpeak. It's on the homepage. It's on the sports betting page. And I will be adding Thursday night bets right after the show, and, more bets that we go through here on this show. So I love the underdog. I always like to pick an underdog. Okay. Yeah. I had kind of, same mixed results week 7. So kind of ready to get into week 8. There's been some bad beats lately, which you just have to, go with and move on. Forget about it. Move on. Quick memory and go on to the next week. And so that's where we're on to week 8. Spread. I know you always like to kind of like, debate stuff, anything week 7 related that you want to talk out before we get into week 8.
Did you just set that up for me, Meg?
I just put it on a tee for you.
Because I already warned you, but we're going to remember Charles Barkley, that famous meme they put up, we are going to start a dialogue.
Yes.
I want to start a dialogue with you about your quote unquote franchise quarterback, Sam Howell.
I mean, he's a rookie.
He holds the ball way too long, and you can say the offensive line is bad, but he's not doing him any favors. I don't think he's getting through his reads. And, we kind of talked about this. And, I was coming with this. You felt that he was. I didn't think that he was. So my question for you is, do we think that there's an opportunity? Can you coach a guy that's not making his reads fast enough? Can you coach that up? Or do you think that's something that you can even build with or not? And so, I mean, I'll be honest, if I was a Commanders fan or whatever your team's going to change the name to, the Mighty Magic Johnsons, if I was whatever fan of that, I would actually hope to draft a quarterback next year. Now, obviously, my enthusiasm for this quarterback class knows no bounds. As you and Tyler check me every week that there's not going to be 10 Hall of Famers in this
there
draft,
will not.
like I seem to believe.
Yeah.
But how are you feeling about Sam Howell? And I'm really discouraged by him as someone who's really high on the Commanders going into the season. We bet the over 6.5. Did get plus money, but that one's in jeopardy here. And I'm worried he just can't read the defenses. What do you think about this? What's your pushback to my criticism? And do you want to see him under center at the beginning of next season?
Yeah, so I'll go through. First of all, the Giants game, I will say I'm not defending him. Yes, he holds the ball way too long overall in the scope of the 7 games that we've seen so far this season. There's obviously all these next gen stats, and I don't have the exact number, but yeah, he's holding it whatever 3 point whatever seconds,
3.8 seconds long, and the average is like 2.7.
Right. So yeah, he's holding it way too long. He's not getting through his reads quick enough, and yes, the more the sacks are on him. However, I will say in this Giants game, I forget Wink Martindale was bringing the house. I was so sick of seeing his face on the television. They kept showing him over and over during the game. And I was like, all right, already enough. I get it. We get it. And we get that Sam Howell and the Commanders offense makes every defense, line look amazing. So he brought the house every time, they did not pick up the blitz well at all. He literally had no time in this game. I will say that for Sunday's game against the Giants. However, season long, yeah, it's been bad. He hasn't the stats bear it out, like you said. I do believe. I mean, I noticed though it's not happening quick enough, but he does get through progressions. And I guess like you got to understand as a Washington fan what I've watched, really my whole adult life outside of like a couple like glimmers here and there. But my whole adult life, I've had we had a couple good years with Mark Brunell. We had in the Gibbs second run, and it wasn't anything amazing, by the way. We had the one RG3 year. That wasn't even amazing. He had like electric, plays and that kind of stuff that the offense was electric at times and very exciting, but we were still 9-7. We squeaked into the playoffs as a wild card team that year. He got injured in the wild card game.
9-7 with the rookie's pretty good though.
Yeah.
And it was a rookie top pick.
So
you guys were bad beforehand.
Yes. So again, Shanahan did a great job. I still have all this bitterness about the RG3 trade and our terrible past owner siding with RG3, which kicked out the Shanahan coaching tree. Lots of anger about that. So anyways, but yes, we had an amazing, fun 2012 season to watch, Griffin's rookie season. And then the wheels came off the wagon just terribly after that. And then I had about 3 years with Cousins that was fun to watch. And as we know with Cousins, it's always a roller coaster, but he'll keep you in games. He'll have some games like he did on Monday night where it's fun and exciting. But that's it. I mean, we're talking, those are the peaks, like average Mark Brunell, one rookie season. Other than that, like Tyler, and then a couple years of Cousins. Other than that, Tyler read the list of quarterbacks I've had to watch as an adult. I mean, it is, first of all, I don't even know the number it's been since let's just say 2003, 20 years. The number of quarterbacks in the last 20 years is outrageous. The number of bad quarterbacks is outrageous. So, I would say one thing I have to show this. You like that shirt behind me. So yes, was a big fan of Kirk Cousins and you like that. But anyways, I will say that it's just been so bad. And I see glimmers of hope that Sam Howell has mobility. No, he's not avoiding sacks, obviously enough, but he has mobility. He's got a live arm on him. And while he's not reading them fast enough, I've seen a lot of bad quarterbacks over the last 20 years that can't even get past the first read. It's simple, like Mickey Mouse type stuff. So I've seen him be able to get through reads. It's just, he's not doing it fast enough. So I do believe it can be coached up. And I guess to summarize this all, the saying spread, with age comes wisdom. Well, I think with age comes cynicism for me personally. So I, have grown to be a bit of a cynic and, life's hard. Getting a good quarterback in the NFL is really hard. Patrick Mahomes don't grow on trees. And we have 6 or 7 elite quarterbacks in this league right now. And I counted today as I was walking the dog, we have 14 starters that you could say that I'd want above Sam Howell. Other than that, they're all kind of just like him. So if you say, well, I want to get back in the draft, about every draft class, you're lucky if 2 good starters come out of it. Okay, I want to go into the free agency market. We've tried that with the Alex Smiths of the world, Donovan McNabbs, all that crap, trades, retreads. Ryan Fitzpatrick got hurt right away. We've tried it all. Nothing's worked. So I'm so cynical and I want to see this bear out a full 17 games before I'm so as of now, I'm not going to say, yes, I definitely want him to be my quarterback of Washington next year, but I do want a full season and I do hope it can be coached up. So that was a very long-winded rant.
Meg, I mean, if you go on one of those dating apps, put in your profile, if I'll stick by Sam Howell, I'll stick with you too.
Oh,
because
that's
this
true.
is some impressive
That's true.
loyalty
I haven't
here,
done dating apps
Meg.
in a while. But
Yeah, I mean, hey, if I could stick by Sam Howell, right, you could put up with some other
that is
nonsense
some
too.
loyalty.
But no, I mean, you got a great point. We're not replacing people in season. I've talked about this before. You give them a full year in the system. Nothing's coming in that's going to change. I mean, I guess you could say Heineke, but what's the point there? Oh, wait, no, he's no longer on your team. Who's your backup?
Brissett, he's one of the best backups in the league, but we know what we have.
What's the point?
Right? What's the point? We know he could.
You either develop him or you draft next year. Tyler, do you think Sam Howell's ever going to be good?
Yes. I mean,
okay.
And nobody's
I'm outvoted here.
Nobody's surviving behind that offensive line.
Okay.
It's bad. It's bad. It's one of the where now they're trying to replace the center. Like it's bad. Everything they haven't invested in enough in the draft, and then what they have done in free agency has been bad. It's bad. It's really bad. So
the only thing that worries me is that they mentally break him before he can be fixed. Like he's just so used to a bad offensive line. When he gets one, he does the 1, 2, 3 count and thinks he's going to die and runs away.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about him getting the yips, seeing the ghosts. We're gonna have the seeing the ghost Sam Darnold back this week, so we could talk about that. But I'm a little concerned about that, Tyler. But yeah, that's my debate. Is I'm not ready to say I'm not giving up on him yet, and I'm hope it can be coached up. And to my point earlier about being a little cynical, and like I just think there's literally
a lot cynical about.
I think there's only like 7 or 8 good quarterbacks in this like amazing franchise.
Wait till next year, Meg. It's going to be 18.
Oh, for God's sake!
There's 10 rookies coming.
Yeah.
And upend the NFL.
Tyler,
landscape.
did we not go through? We went through the NFL.com has 20 years of ranking the last 20 years of draft quarterback classes. Literally, like the top 5, even in the best of classes, 2004, three Hall of Famers. Other than that, nothing else. I think 2018, obviously, we have a couple starters with Lamar and Josh Allen. Baker's still starting. We'll see the matchup of Baker Mayfield and Josh Allen tonight. And then 2020 actually was ranked number 2 with obviously Burrow, Tua, Herbert, and Jalen Hurts. That's an outlier. 4 quarterbacks, absolute outlier. You're lucky if you get 2 good starters in each draft. So I'm sorry, I don't believe it. I just don't believe that this year is going to yield like 4 or 5 like amazing starters that could be better than Sam Howell. So do you kind of agree with that, Tyler? Like
I agree, but just looking through the names of quarterbacks at max, if they all panned out perfectly, I think you do get 4. I think it would be Williams, May, Ewers,
Penix.
And maybe
Ewers, McCarthy.
No, McCarthy, Bo Nix, and Penix are the 3 guys that probably suck.
No, they're going to be good.
Penix reminds me so much of Malik Willis.
Really?
Yeah, there's just nothing there.
Just way more touch on the ball than Willis did.
I don't see it.
Willis, to me, looked like great value Lamar Jackson.
I don't see it with Penix.
Like Penix can place the ball. Here, I'll give you one, Meg. He's got a little Doug Williams in him. What do you guys know about that?
Who does? Oh, I know about Doug Williams.
A little bit of Doug Williams in there.
Oh,
right?
you think?
Just great placement, great accuracy.
I don't know.
Hartman, see, there's so many great options.
Listen, Fred, that college quarterback's name on that screen is as old as me, and I'd graduated college like 3 years ago.
I don't care about that.
He is too old to be playing quarterback.
Who cares about how old you are?
I mean, are you going to draft a 26-year-old?
Why would I care? I'll just run him for his rookie contract and then get rid of him at 31. Or if he's a quarterback, I only have one more deal. What's up?
I don't think that's what you want to do with a quarterback. That's a running back style draft idea.
It's time to adapt, Tyler.
I mean, unless you got some quarterback farm system that we don't know about.
Quarterback farm system. I like it. That's what we need. That's what we need after.
Here I have my indica. Here I have my sativas. And here I'm growing some quarterbacks. That's about how realistic that is, right? Quarterback farm out here in California.
Yeah, Steve says he doesn't know if McCarthy will come out into the draft. Come out of college to go to the draft. So, I mean, we have to see who does stay in college and come to the draft. So that's still a big one because there is all those, projections every year that, this guy's definitely coming into the draft and then he stays at school another year. And sometimes that works out and sometimes it doesn't, like it didn't for Sam Howell.
The one name none of us talked about as the quarterbacks. What about the Sanders kid? Anybody you've got to take on?
He's not coming out though, right? He's gonna stay one more year.
That's the rumor, but I feel like if he goes through like the combine, a team calls him or Dion's like, hey, we're not going to take you in the first round, but if you are sitting there at pick 35 in round 2, we are 1,000% taking you. You don't
he's
think
he's coming out to be in round 2? He's coming out to be the number 1 pick.
Clyde is with you.
You guys good.
He's naming a lot of guys in chat, so I think
that FSU guy is throwing to an absolute stud of a wide receiver. So he might be good, but the wide receiver might be doing all the work here.
Yeah. We've seen that too.
This might be Devontae Smith with Mac Jones again.
Yeah, we're seeing that play out in the NFL here. Though Mac Jones had a good game. I mean, we'll talk about the Bills later, but wow, that was an upset. So yeah, we saw some crazy games in Week 7. Certainly some things that I didn't see happening. Browns and Colts being one of the, I believe, the highest scoring game on the board. Obviously, the upset of the Bills. Obviously, there are teams like Spread and I that are just massively let down. I didn't think Raiders would lose to Tyson Bagent. I didn't think we would lose to a Tyrod Taylor-led team. But, the NFL is crazy. So, yeah, Steve said he thinks Sanders stays one more year. So we'll see. We will see. We will definitely be having these quarterback conversations all year long. And I'll segue that to let you know that if you do like the NFL draft and you want to just simulate it as the NFL season progresses, it is kind of fun to start forward thinking about prospects in the NFL draft. And we have on the clock year round that you can simulate the 2024 NFL draft, see the different scenarios play out. And Steve's updating the team needs, the draft order weekly, the big boards weekly. And then of course in January when, okay, this guy's coming out of the college, this guy's staying in, all the declarations, all that good stuff, everything's updated. So, everything's updated weekly. We'll get more and more big boards. So that's fun to play with and see it play out. And
especially if you're like me, Meg, and you're already looking ahead to next year.
Okay, well then you can use on the clock.
Fans do by week 8 every year.
Exactly. Do you know when on the clock traffic starts to go up? Right around now. I mean,
because we've given up.
Yeah,
we've given up.
On the clock.
Bears.
It's so funny to watch on the clock traffic, like the evolution of it. It like slowly grows September and October, and then right around now it goes, whoop, because like all these teams that are like, yep, it's over. Time to start thinking about the drafts. Trying to start, and I'll segue that also to Steve is working on the data for Manage the Cap, which that is free as well. And then you could subscribe to Ultimate GM, which lets you have a full off-season simulation. You run through Manage the Cap simulator, free agency, all the way into the NFL draft. And you can do that all ads-free with Ultimate GM, just $19.95 for the year, a whole entire year, ads-free. Then everything's ads-free, including these guys, the playbook, all their NFL, NBA projections, all our articles, all the simulators, everything's free for $19.95 a year if you get the Ultimate GM subscription. And then that lets you simulate the whole thing. Steve's working on that. Hopefully that'll be done by tomorrow afternoon. And, you'll have a full access to Ultimate GM of the whole 2024 off-season experience. But this will be something we could talk about. And then, as we do more and more shows, we can actually even run some simulations and get into it. Anyways, now I think it's time to talk week 8. So week 8, guys, we're looking at the board. We've already got some of your picks up on the NFL betting card on FanSpeak, and we'll see if anything out of this show we decide to add. But Spread, what is your favorite spread of the week?
All right, let's head to New York, where the New York Jets face the New York Giants. Of course, the Giants coming off the win over your Commanders, but we're not going to rate that win too highly. I don't even care who plays quarterback for the Giants. I think they're about equal at this point. It feels like Tyrod does a better job avoiding turnovers. But with Daniel Jones, you'd have the rushing upside. You make good arguments for both players at this point. But I'm just not sold on the Giants. And sometimes we just have to let go of those priors, Meg. Sometimes it's tough, right? And it's a heartfelt goodbye with tears in our eyes as we realize those Daniel Jones, Jalen Hyatt stacks are not going to cash in best ball.
Luckily, I didn't have a ton of them. Luckily, I didn't have any Jalen Hyatt. I was not
my biggest flaw. My biggest flaw is the Giant stacks, I would say.
Really? you had a
For example, on the
It was so
commander stacks,
cheap.
what did I really spend?
You
to
didn't
get
spend
those,
much. No,
right?
that's why I always
Yeah.
liked them, because they were cheap.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But on the Giants, I spent way more draft
On
capital,
Jones.
and it's just
Yeah.
not going to. And Waller, as he was moving up the board,
Yeah.
I continued to grab him, and then you could grab all those different variations of the receivers: Wandale, Jalen Hyatt. Anyways, it didn't work out for me.
I was on Slayton the most and Hodgins, so that none of it's really working out. So
yeah. But Meg, I mean, I pulled on my Disney Plus. I watched them Frozen. I'm ready to let it go. We're taking the New York Jets -2.5. The total here is only 36.5.
the puns are so good.
Yeah, we got to bring some of the stuff here. But look at this Jets team, and especially on the defensive side of the ball, I'm just so much more talented. Like, let's say we're just trading rosters. What do I like that the Giants have better? Even at running back, Saquon Barkley is a great back. Breece Hall's right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Breece Hall is right there. I have better weapons on the outside. Garrett Wilson will be the best receiver on the field. I guess you can argue tight end.
That's the one spot I think you can argue is tight end.
And even then, like, Waller's living off that reputation. Let's just say, like, Steve, who can actually scout, unlike us, or I don't want to speak for you guys, but for me, I read what scouts say. I don't scout. Steve's going to tell you, if you just turn that on and you said, hey, check out this player, he wouldn't be super impressed and definitely wouldn't suggest signing him to the contract of the magnitude that he has. But on the defensive side of the ball is where I really think the imbalance between these teams is, as the Jets, to me, have a top 10 defense and the Giants are in the bottom 10. There will be no home field advantage here. Although I think both teams probably are using the mock draft simulator over there on Fanspeak, right? and looking ahead to next year, I think the Jets do have a little more hope for the season, where the Giants fans are just hitting refresh over and over again, right? Let's see who we can get here.
Definitely.
With this draft. I know it's tough taking a road favorite, but it's not a true road favorite. Jets -2.5.
I like it. Steve agrees with you that Waller is the only upgrade as far as position. And that Jets defense, my goodness. So I am so with you on the Jets here. Tyler, do you like spreads pick there? I know you guys work together, and then what is your best favorite spread of the week?
Yeah, love the Jets there. I mean, Giants stink. I think Tyrod's just like basically game managing for them right now.
Sure.
You've seen the game last week. I mean, he hit some deep throws, but I don't think it happens again versus a Jets defense. And if those corners come back, good luck with those receivers. And then as for my pick, Meg, we're going to go back to a team we bet on before. They're +3.5 underdogs this week against a guy we talked about, Sam Darnold. Give me the Bengals coming off the bye, heading to San Fran, playing a beat-up team. And we just watched Kirk Cousins throw all over this defense. Now you're going to send Chase, Higgins, T. Boyd, and Burrow and these guys in there. They're going to be running all over the field wide open. Burrow's calf's got to be pretty good after the bye. They're 12-0 since 2021 as underdogs, 2.5 points or more. I think it's a perfect spot. You bet the +3.5, you tease them up, and you take the money line also because they're going to give San Fran their third straight loss.
Wow. I like that. Yeah. I mean, I will say I am a little interested. I know this is a betting show, but I am playing around in my head with like punting down with Darnold this week and then just building a super team around him. I don't know if that's totally nuts, but it just seems like in a Shanahan offense, a lot of quarterbacks can have success just distributing. Am I crazy there? I
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. And
there's so many other studs I want to pay for.
Let's talk about it. Both these things can easily happen. Bengals put up 38. Darnold gets you 27, but you only paid what, $4K for him?
Like 4 point. I forget. It's
And all you got to do is nail those rest of those spend ups.
You have to nail the spend ups. Yeah, exactly.
If they get pressure on Darnold, though, I think he's a dead man walking. Like if Trent Williams misses again, and it's Darnold back there, it's his first game with a beat up O line, no Debo to dump it off to. He still has CMC and Ayuk, but outside of those two and Kittle, like Juwan Jennings, Ronnie Bell, Kyle Juszczyk, like it falls off a cliff. So I think Cincinnati's going to have the firepower advantage. I don't think Darnold's going to be exactly able to utilize all that firepower on San Fran. I know it's San Fran, and we talk about you could plug in anyone. Like me and Spread could go out there and play quarterback for him right now too. But it is still Sam Darnold we're talking about. Kyle Shanahan can go, do your 1-2 read, look at Ayuk in that spot. If he's not there, throw it away. He might do his 1-2 read, look, and then just muscle memory. His head snaps to the right. He looks, throws it the wrong way. Interception. He will still commit turnovers. I think it's a nice Bengals week this week. They're back.
All right.
And me talking about using scouting as part of my handicap that I don't do, that I read. Greg Cosell on local radio here talking to the 49ers guys yesterday while I was driving around made a great point how Debo is the security blanket in the 49ers system against the blitz for his ability, yards after catch, like a running back, but you can line him up anywhere on the field. Without that security blanket, the 49ers have been vulnerable to the rush. Another thing that's come out in 49ers land out here where I live. Now, I mean, the Raiders haven't been good for years, so nobody's growing up a Raiders fan, and we've left Northern California, so it's purely 49ers country up here. Shanahan's inability to overcome, I think it came out. Now, this is tough, of course, but it was 8 points or more in the fourth quarter. Shanahan's like 0-29, has yet to give me a double-digit fourth quarter lead. This 49ers team is predicated on establishing a lead and running the football. I know Shanahan draws up great schemes. I know that when we talk about him as one of the best play callers in the league, we can go to this video and circle. Look how wide open these guys are. Anybody can make these throws, but it's all predicated on their ability to run the football. And that's why these guys are so wide open, because the opposing defensive coordinators need to be so keyed in on the run. They can't afford to double cover these guys, and we get some mismatches that we want here. Without Deebo Samuel in the game, and also our knowledge that, hey, this 49ers team is not good at overcoming a big lead. Who can run up the score? I like the Bengals and that high-powered offense coming off a bye. I'm in lockstep with Tyler, and I'm happy to be taking a dog here. I agree. I think you split the unit. Half it goes to the +3, the other half on the money line. But I have a good feeling that you're going to be scooping both those bets.
Okay. I like it. Okay. So you got a money line and a spread bet there. And then, of course, the Jets spread that you guys, but all three of us love. Okay. So let's talk totals. You guys were 2-0 on totals last week. So let's run that back. What totals are you liking this week? I don't think we have anything on the sheet yet. Is there anything that you see worth putting on the sheet? Spread, I'll go to you first.
I think totals have been tough this year. So we want to bet unders. Unders are hitting at 60%.
Yep.
We're waiting for these offenses to catch up. It doesn't seem why. If you watched last week, when I had a little time to monologue on our show over at Nuke the House, I blamed the lack of cohesion on the offensive line. Whatever the root of the problem is, we can argue about. What we can't argue about is this problem exists, especially for offenses in the red zone. So when I'm looking at games here, right, I'm looking at unders. Unfortunately, the books, we're seeing these are like snowstorm totals here. 36.5 in that Jets-Giants game.
Yeah.
38 between the Browns and the Seahawks. 38 in a game that's got Tyler Lockett, JSN, Kenneth Walker, Amari Cooper, right?
But the quarterback on the Browns devoid of weapons. Now,
right?
now it's
this
Phillip
isn't the Patriots offense here. These totals are pretty low. And I'm going to that game. I like the over 38 in the Browns and the Seahawks. I just think the total is too low here. And I know the Browns have an excellent defense, and they're going against PJ Walker. But you know what else excellent defenses can do? They can get you turnovers and give your team complementary advantage field position. So I know it's rough, but my favorite total on the board, I'm going over 38 with the Browns and the Seahawks.
Okay, over 38 Browns Seahawks. So the Phillip Walker quarterback doesn't scare you off that at all.
It does. I think it's a tough week for totals.
Yeah.
Which is why you see we didn't have it on the sheet. You just asked me right now what my favorite total
You're like,
was.
it's just part of our show that we were
Well, let's
picking.
talk. I think it's fun. And just thinking about that game, I think it's going to help you as you're trying to bet all these totals.
Right.
Knowing that they're skewing under.
Yeah.
So now our question is better is it here, right? So a little bit of this is handicapping the game. A lot of it is handicapping the market. So these totals are going to continue to go down until overs are hitting
Right.
more than unders. I think the books are happy, right? Because they'd rather have unders hit more often than overs because we like to bet overs,
Right.
as just
course.
a general American public.
Definitely.
But at the same time, the people coming in betting 4K are off 4K a game are offsetting the $20 overs.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So
Yes.
they're going to want to get this even. We have to figure out, when are these totals going to get too low? I mean, if this continues, Meg, 2 weeks from now, I'm going to see more 3s than 4s starting these totals here when we're looking at this board.
I know.
Especially as the weather starts to cool down.
Exactly. That's a great point. I mean, it's already wild how many totals we have starting in the 3s. Clyde, I'm going to segue this. He asked about what numbers do you have on this game, and you can check out their. We're working to get it up on the homepage soon. And also, I will also mention that we are so lucky to have Spread and Tyler's NBA projections. So you have the NFL treasure map, you have the NBA treasure map. Both are on the sports betting tab right now. The NFL betting card is on the homepage and sports betting tab. So go there to find it. You'll see all their projections for NBA, all their projections for NFL under the sports betting tab. We're working, though, to get that on the homepage for you guys. I promise you. But to answer Clyde's question, did you want to answer that, Spread?
He just likes teasing me because if you look on my projections, Meg, a lot of them come really close to what the numbers are.
Right. Which is why you don't have any.
But at the same time, I'm telling you, I have a pretty good model. Because guess what? These guys in Vegas, when you walk in and you're walking on a marble floor, and, right? And
I love the marble floors there. Yeah.
And the best pillows and the best soap. Guess who's paying for it, right? It's the people losing the bets, Clyde. So that's why he's bringing that up. He thinks it's silly that I'm always so close to the numbers. But at the same time, right, I think it's a good sign that I'm dead on because, right,
exactly.
I want to be copying the work of the best people in the class. I have this game at 45, Clyde, one of my biggest advantages on the board. So
okay.
That's my favorite.
That answers Clyde's question. And by the way, I always love how you talk about.
To be fair, I made those numbers mainly with Deshaun Watson in. And most of my Seahawks numbers have DK Metcalf in, and I didn't manually adjust. And at this point, Meg, how much different is PJ Walker than Deshaun Watson? I talked about Darren Waller living off his name.
Yeah.
Same thing. Tell Steve, hey, Steve, just go scout this guy and only use Browns tape from this year.
Oh, it's not good.
Say backup.
It's not good. Yeah.
Say backup.
Yep.
I'm scouting the backup right now.
Exactly. It's that bad. It is that bad. Absolutely. I just have to say, I always love how you talk about the losing bets paying for the beautiful Vegas casinos that we love so much. Perfect rotation. Thank you for joining us. And Chad talks about liking the Bucs tonight. We're going to talk about the Thursday night game later. Thinks this game could go under. We'll talk about that later for sure. But thank you for joining us, and we'll definitely talk through the Thursday night football, some props, first touchdowns, fun little same game parlay later for sure. Okay, Tyler, your favorite again, and I want to make another point that this is why I love working with you guys is, you don't just bet to bet. You if the numbers are too close and you're not seeing an edge and an advantage, you're not going to bet anything. We're not going to put on the card. It's quality over quantity here, people. We want to win. So if these guys don't see an edge, it's not going to be on the card. And so that's fine. We're just talking through.
Meg, I just talked myself into it. I just put an X next to that over. Deal with it, Tyler. Deal with it.
Okay.
You get one free X on the board, Tyler, for the week. That I
gave me the Bengals because you wouldn't let me do it at +5.5.
Put it on right now. It's all
yours.
Right.
All right. Well, then right after the show, I'll be adding bets to the card. So I just said we're quality over quantity, but we are.
I'm Xing next to the right now, Tyler.
We are, but but with that said, we will add this one for sure. Okay. Tyler, your favorite total of the week.
Yeah, Spread pointed it out. Looking at this board, there's a bunch of 30s. There's one game on here I think should be in the 30s. It's not. Why is the Saints and the Colts lined at 43.5? I mean, I get it. The Colts were able to put up points last week, but I feel like that was an outlier. Like
that was wild.
Gardner Minshew running those touchdowns in, Josh Downs breaking coverage a couple times. Same thing with Pittman. I don't see those same things happening here. And the Saints can't score either. So I think this is just, you see the running backs dominate the games. Kamara, JT, Zach Moss. Neither passing game gets really going. And I think this is a very low scoring game. So yeah, and perfect rotation's right. The Saints can't get to 20. So
not with check down,
the
Charlie.
Colts would have to get to about 30 something for us to win this, for this game to go over. So we're going to go under. Give me the
Yeah.
under in this game. I just don't see points occurring in this one.
I love the under call there, and Steve fully agrees with your Watson call. That Watson is not a big difference from PJ Walker right now. So definitely.
And Clyde, just to give you a little bit there, we have this game at 41.6 on the under. So no, it's not what Vegas has. Check the sheet, Clyde. I'm correct. All right.
Go to fanspeak.com,
right,
go to
buddy.
the sports betting tab. But yeah, no, Tyler, I love that call. I just don't see.
I
how
made
this
that
game
an
goes.
X2, Tyler. You sold
All
me.
right,
I just
let's
put the
go.
bet in right now. Let's
Okay.
go.
All right, let's go. I'm adding 2 totals. We'll see. And I think these guys are going 2-0 this week on these 2 totals that I'll be adding to the NFL betting card right after the show. So, okay, now let's talk through props. And I'll go to you first, Tyler. I know we always struggle with this on a Thursday. Not everything's available, but earlier in the week, we'll get everything up, by Saturday of all the props we like, all the anytime touchdowns we like, all that stuff. And we've been doing fairly well the last few weeks and picking up our record there. So, Tyler, as of this point, what is your favorite prop on the board?
Yeah, we're going to go to the Jacksonville-Pittsburgh game, Meg.
Love it.
Our run defense still isn't good in Pittsburgh. The Jags with Travis Etienne have been able to run the hell out of the ball this year. And his rushing yards is only 61.5 on Sunday.
Wow.
I think he can absolutely crush that line. I think they win the game because I think they have our number. They beat us since I was a kid every time, regardless of rosters. We watched Blake Bortles and those guys beat the Killer Bees in the playoffs when we were supposed to be the Super Bowl team. We watched David Garrard and those guys beat the old Steelers back in the early 2000s. And I think you're going to watch the better Trevor Lawrence and Etienne and Ridley-led team beat up on Pickett and Canada's offense on Sunday, which leads more into Etienne rushing the ball. I think he can close in on 100. I think that number should be in the 70s, maybe the low 80s, not 61.5. Give me the over there.
100% agree. I'm writing that down because I'll be adding this to the sheet. I love that, Tyler. I 100% agree with you about the game script. The volume Etienne's getting is insane. And like you said, the matchup works too. It all aligns. So I love that call. So mine is sticking with kind of going back to the original spread call of you guys liking the Jets spread. And I think Breece Hall is going to be fully unleashed now. If Aaron Rodgers wants to try to come back, for the end of the season, they need to, keep stacking some wins. They have to win this game. I think they'll rely on the defense and Breece Hall, obviously, and Zach Wilson just needs to not mess up and game manage this situation. So give me Breece Hall over 68.5. Hell, he could do that on 2 runs. He's so explosive. So I really love that. And I'd have to check what longest run is for Breece Hall, because I love those for explosive backs like Breece Hall that can just, he could get this on 1 run, 2 runs, so I love that. And again, I think they're similar to what you said with Etienne. I think they'll be playing with a lead and trying to run out the clock with Breece Hall. So I think that covers that, because you're going to do anytime touchdowns, right? Spread.
Yeah, but Tyler,
I was going to say, is there any spread? I don't want to leave you out. If you see a
go
prop
against
you
your
like,
team again, Tyler.
I just took Etienne's rushing yards.
yeah.
You're telling me
Who
our
you like
rushing?
in that game between the Jags and the Steelers? Steelers plus 2.5.
I mean, the Jags. I mean, they beat us every time, Fred. I
So,
said it.
Meg,
He
your
just looked at
dating
his-
profile is going to be, hey, you're loyal. Tyler's going to be, if you're not perfect, I will leave you in a second.
It's not even just,
4-2, and he's still going against his team.
we want to be 4-2 with a chance, Fred, not 4-2 with no chance. We would rather be 2-4 with no chance and not ruining our draft pick.
Meg and I are sitting here. Right? This is like the rich kid complaining because he got a BMW instead of the Mercedes for his 60th
I know.
Right?
With
That's
the
how we
Raiders and
feel
Washington.
watching you
Right.
criticize the Steelers as they once again continue to exceed expectations.
It's not
do.
even like that, really, though. It's more like it's the rich kid, but he's not being given everything. It's like they're just gonna kind of guide you through, like, we're not going to have you deal with the bad stuff, but we're not going to give you the good stuff. Like, you're still getting Kenny Pickett and Matt Canada, but we're not going to let you lose.
Right. You didn't get the S-Class
Like,
Mercedes.
you're still
You
going to
just
have
got
to earn
you just
it. You're
got
still going to have to deal with the stress, but
Yeah.
We don't
Sorry, that Lexus is no Mercedes, that's for sure.
I like the car analogy. I think that works. But I mean, yeah, I get what you're saying, Tyler. And I actually just listened to a show last night that talked about this, about the Steelers, that like Mike Tomlin hitting that, like he never has a losing record, always puts you in this purgatory where you can never.
Yeah, it's like, do you want a participation trophy every year for that? Like, that means nothing in the long run.
We've talked about this though. I mean, I'll take McDaniels over Matt Canada there. Steve.
Yeah.
Um,
that's bad versus bad, but yeah, that's a good one.
But I don't think bottoming out is as helpful as you think it is. Do you want to be the Panthers, right? I mean, do we want to be the Raiders, teams that just are good, bad?
If you bottom out, you have to bottom out correct. You have to do it right. You have to rebuild correctly. There's a lot of teams that do it and mess up. I think there were
spots they could have did it, quote unquote, right, without butchering the roster.
I think in the NFL draft, the difference between pick 5 and pick 15 is so minuscule.
I'm just like my perfect example of it that I think could have been the spot where it's like, all right, like it's time to send some guys home. Like let's take a year off. Was Ben's last year, Trevor Lawrence's incoming year, when Ben couldn't throw the ball to save his life. Them in the defense drug us to the playoffs somehow. We lost to KC with no chance. When we could have sent him home, lost a bunch of games, and had a chance at him.
You never want to lose. You want to. If you're a coach and you're sitting there saying every rep matters, even in practice in July, you can't intentionally lose games in November and December. That's just.
I wanted the Peyton Manning to Andrew Luck with Ben Roethlisberger to Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah. I was gonna say. I mean, it was sad that we didn't get a long career out of Andrew Luck, but
pardon.
So we all can't get what we want. I wanted Trevor Lawrence.
You're telling me I can't even get a good head coach? Yeah. Well, Meg did her little walk of doom with her quarterbacks. Look at my coaches.
Did you see the rumors that the Steelers might be trading for Hopkins? Which I don't know how that makes much sense. Yeah,
because they'd only be giving up a 4th or a 5th.
It said they're the favorite.
What does he go for at this point? He's going to go for a day 3 pick. It's a day 3 pick.
But to Tyler's point, you've got 2 solid.
I guess maybe if he does show up, it's like, all right, Hopkins and Pickens are now set to play the outsides, and Johnson is locked into the slot.
Right.
I think I don't think it hurts, especially with this young quarterback. Pickett, if you really believe in him, give him the opportunity to succeed. I know the Steelers are
my worry,
but a 5th round pick, I think that's what he would take.
My worry, though, is they showed him on the Tennessee bench. I think it was last game or the game before. The dude, fumbled the ball. Is the receiver 3 behind him. Came to sit down next to him. He instantly got up, walked away. He's like, I don't want to be around this bum. Now you're going to bring him into Pittsburgh with a Matt Canada offense. He's going to get so tired.
Bro, Tomlin can manage freaking Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell. I mean, DeAndre Hopkins is going to be a walk in the park.
Yeah, but that was when those 2 guys were scoring a bunch of touchdowns, getting all the yards. How many times before Hopkins is running behind the line of scrimmage and he knows he could separate from the corner before he's like, come on, like, let me run down the damn field.
If you trust anybody in this situation to get a guy's head on straight, it has to be Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I will say, thinking back, like you said, that he was dealing with the personalities of Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown is wild. But okay, so I love our props though, Tyler, and those are going to go up on the sheet right after. And then again, more props and anytime touchdowns will be up by Saturday morning. So check that out. And now let's go to anytime touchdown. Spread, I'll go to you first on this one. What is your favorite anytime touchdown? You can just tell a player you like. We'll tell them on our books what they're at right now. But what's your favorite anytime touchdown?
Yeah, because I'm sure you're going to get a better number than me. Let me go over these numbers and see what else has been. Oh, I forgot that Kings money hit my account. Love to see that. I ended up degenerating on the Kings, Tyler. I couldn't help it. We should have.
I love it.
We should have had that on the deal. But let me pull up these touchdowns. Actually, while I'm pulling this
while you're pulling that up, while you're pulling that up, let me say again, it is NBA season, and that's exciting because it's 2 sports that these guys crush at. So check out the NBA treasure map that is up on the sports betting tab. Again, we'll work to get that up on the homepage, but check out, you'll have all their projections. X marks the spot that they're playing. So check that out. There's two games tonight, I believe. So check the NBA playbook. Each and every game day, you can see what these guys are betting there. And then we're also lucky enough that I get to join these guys every Tuesday at 3:00. We'll talk through the NBA betting card for that day, NBA slate for that day. And then obviously every Thursday you join us here, we talk through NFL. So I get these guys 2 times a week. You've got their NFL projections, you got their NBA projections. And of course we put it all on NFL on the betting card. So I love that. Tyler, Spread, what were you going to say?
All right. So I'm looking here, right? I got a game of a total of 38. Kenneth Walker's only plus 110 to score for Seattle. Oh, that seems low. I bet you guys got a better price. So how am I getting Breece Hall going against the New York Giants defense? We already talked about how we think this is such a great matchup for him. He's plus 129 on my book. Man, give me Breece Hall to score a touchdown against the hapless New York Giants defense.
Yeah, I love that. It's 130 on DK. I'm looking at it right now. So I absolutely love that. I'm very bullish on Breece Hall this week. We'll be on DFS. We'll be in the sports betting market. So love it. Spread. Tyler, who's your favorite anytime touchdown on the board? I don't see many others available right now.
I'm going to go.
DK.
It's going to be a little. It's not going to be an actual player, Meg. We never took the defense on this show yet.
Oh,
I did one time.
You did for first touchdown.
First touchdown. Yeah. For any time.
Okay, anytime. What do we got?
They scored last year in this matchup. I think they could do the same exact way they scored last year. Give me Dallas's defense versus LA. You're telling me that defensive line can't get in that backfield and grab a hold of him and throw the ball on the ground and chase it down and run it into the end zone, or even snag a pick six when they're just pressuring the hell out of them? Like, they are going to be all over Stafford in that game. I think it could look similar to week 1 where their defense just played a lights out game, won them the game, and the other offense had no shot. I think it's a strip sack that goes to the house. Could be a pick six, but I'll take that plus 400 shot on Dallas's defense this week.
Yeah, nice. That plus 400. I like that. I'm going to go in the same game. He hurt me bad last week, and I mean real bad. And we're talking props, anytime touchdown, daily fantasy, underdog, battle royale. Every way I could be hurt by Cooper Kupp, I was hurt by Cooper Kupp. But I'm ready, like the Michael Scott gif. I'm ready to be hurt again. No, this is Cooper Kupp, people. Listen, he's not going to just catch 2 catches every week. He's usually a minus 110 to score a touchdown. This is just his, 3rd week back. I understand Puka Nacua is real, and I love that. That's great. But that just means he should have, yes, they're both going to have targets in the end zone, but that doesn't mean Kupp should be, I think, he's at plus 135. I think that is a good price, and I'm going back to Cooper Kupp to get in the end zone. Yes, I think the Dallas defense absolutely could get that turnover, but I also think Cooper Kupp can get in the end zone this week. What do you think about that? It's kind of all aligned with that game, but what do you think about that, Tyler?
I like that call. Get that price on Cooper Kupp too. I think you just have to.
It's the price.
Yeah,
it's the price exactly. So
especially off a bad week, like he could get it in the first drive. It could be one of those first drives, 8-9 targets, 7 catches, 60 yards, and then the touchdown.
Yes.
How do you guys feel about that game overall?
I think Dallas wins.
Yeah,
I know they're 6-point favorites, but against the spread.
Go ahead, Meg.
Against the spread, I don't know if I would. I don't know about 6 points, but yeah, I think Dallas wins. But the 6 points makes me a little nervous. I don't know about that. I actually like the over here. I know you like the Dallas defense, and I get all the points you make, and they're very opportunistic. But again, it didn't work for me last week as far as Stafford having to kind of throw to and get that volume on his yardage. I liked his yardage prop. It didn't get there last week, but especially if they're playing a negative game script, I don't know. These are two offenses that are kind of just, I don't know, underperforming to, I think the level that I think they should. I mean, obviously Dallas is coming out of a bye, and yeah, I just think this is again 3rd week with both Nacua and Kupp. I don't know. I like this game to go over. That's the one I like. I don't know what your numbers are saying, but that's just my gut feel.
I have it at 45.6. Wait, no. I have it at 44.1 on a total of 45.
Okay.
Meg, so Tyler audits my numbers every week. I got Dallas winning by 10. What do you think?
Really?
Yeah. It was one that we were thinking about adding, but when I first looked at that, more than me saying I want to play this, it made me think, did I calculate this wrong? What do you think when you see Dallas winning by 10 here on projections?
I mean, I do think it's interesting coming off the bye, but I don't know. That feels too big for me. Again, I think both offenses have kind of underperformed. I will say, obviously, the fear is Matthew Stafford under pressure versus Matthew Stafford, pressure not getting home is like two different quarterback outputs. So, if Dallas pressure gets home, it could be ugly. So I worry about that. But again, I do think they're both just absolutely underperforming so far. And it wouldn't shock me if this became like a 28-23 type situation or something like that, where 27-23, I don't know. It just wouldn't surprise me if points happened and if Dallas wins, but by less of the margin. So those are the two things
you're probably undervaluing the Rams here in this scenario. I
think you are. Yes, I think you're undervaluing the Rams, but I say that again, I fully acknowledge that if Dallas pressure gets home, that could be a recipe for disaster and could absolutely play out the Dallas -10. Maybe then would play out the under.
Isn't this almost like a spitting image of their game last week against Pittsburgh? But Dallas is going to actually be able to put the points on the board. Neither team has a secondary. They both have solid defensive lines, and they both have pass rushers that have to get pressure on Stafford to slow down the game.
Right.
But Dallas has a more high-powered offense.
Okay, never mind. I understand your point.
Right. I get that. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Sharp,
no, that makes sense.
I think off the bye, too, I think you see that offense. They had some hiccups against the Chargers. I think Gallup dropped 2 touchdowns.
Oh, God. Bro, he dropped more than that.
He dropped
targets, 3 receptions, and 8 of them were right in his hands.
I think they hit the ground running this week. I think they could put it on the Rams.
Yeah, the more I look at this, Tyler, I kind of want to add this at 6.
I don't 100% want to add the 6 spread, but they just check off boxes. At home, under 7, tease them with one of these other teams.
Expect Pollard to look better.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Pollard's been banged up.
Right. I mean, I think he's still just recovering and banged up, from his off-season surgery. And
he could find one of those runs where he gets into space too, and he's just gone in a track meet too. Because once he gets away from Aaron Donald, there really is nobody else to get him.
Right. And they brought this up last week with Pittsburgh, right? The same deal. Aaron Donald actually forces these offenses to call the right plays, because Dallas does this too. Your guy Matt Canada does this too. I don't want to see these runs off tackle. At 1st and 10, and now I'm at 2nd and 9 every single time, right? Even against one of the worst nose tackles. So now you're saying we want you to take Aaron Donald out of the game. Less of those generic runs up the middle that only work if you're more talented than your opponent, which doesn't happen in the NFL very rarely. Maybe the Eagles can pull it off, right? But I also think that you get a little edge there, because the notion of Aaron Donald actually forces these offensive coordinators to be more efficient and more effective, because it just takes their least efficient play that they love because they're old like me, and it's succeeded for so long. But now you take it out of the playbook.
Yeah, Pollard had that catch that almost, and he got caught. So his game log would have looked a lot different had that gotten in the end zone. And Clyde, I definitely always like McCaffrey to make it 17 in a row, anytime touchdown. We usually try to give out some fun plus money bet touchdown bets for you, but yeah, definitely always McCaffrey is definitely always in play. I don't know. I don't think his odds are up yet on the book that I'm looking at now. Yeah. So, okay. So we've covered spreads. We've covered totals. We've covered props. We've covered anytime touchdowns. You guys ready to talk about the game tonight between the Buccaneers at the Buffalo Bills? Buffalo Bills coming off a major upset, losing to the Patriots last week. Obviously, the last couple of weeks, the Bucs offense has just been in decline. Can't put points on the board. So with all that said, spread, I'll go to you first. How do you see this game going? And then we'll get into some fun bets. But first, how do you see this game going tonight?
I like Buffalo in a smash spot here. I think the Bucs are being a little bit overvalued. We're excited off them when they beat last year's team that was 13-4, 13-win team, Minnesota Vikings, week 1. Oh, wait, let's go back and look. It's not that good a win. Then they beat the Bears. great job, right? I mean, it makes you better than the Raiders. Still not a very good win. And they've been shut down. One thing, though, is they've actually been playing better on the road than at home, which is odd. But let's go ahead and take that into account here. The Bills, when they look to be the top team in the league, definitely haven't recovered from the loss of linebacker Matt Milano. That's the difference. They played without Trey White last season, and they were able to overcome that. Losing essentially your signal caller on defense has been a big deal. Keep an eye on that injury report. If Ed Oliver's in there, I like the Bills even more. Still, I think this is a tough situation for a Tampa team that was overvalued because they exceeded expectations during the first 3 weeks of the season. Now we're getting more back to our priors, Meg. I talked about letting these priors go with the Giants. Nope, on this one, I'm holding it tight. I'm staying committed here to my priors. Tampa's not that good in a not that good division. Now they're playing a team that, wow, when we're looking at them as the Super Bowl contender, they have plenty of flaws. To win a game at home in primetime, Bowles doesn't have the time to get ready. And if you're thinking about Bowles, you understand the only way that you make the playoffs is by winning your division. Throw the wild card out. You need to be preparing for these Falcons games, these Saints games. You can afford to lose this one. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't put too much effort in there. I think we're going to see a vanilla game plan here, which means if we got two vanilla game plans going against each other, I'll take the team with more talent. I like the Buffalo Bills to cover the 9 points tonight.
Okay. And do you like, I know Perfect Rotation in the chat, like the under as well. Do you like the under tonight?
Let's see what we had it at. We had it at 42.4 and it's 42.
Okay. So you're right there. Yeah.
I don't love it. I guess if you're going with my handicap earlier for the Bills to go ahead and cover this spread, Buccaneers aren't going to put very many points on the board. So I'd rather play the under than the over.
Right. Well, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay.
Let's see if it's moved here as well.
Clyde says, Vegas says. Okay. Tyler, how do you Tyler, how do you see this game going tonight? Do you agree with spread?
I think the Bills come in. I think they win the game. I think they should smash, but I don't want to lock in that -8 as much as I just want to make them a solid teaser leg. Nothing on 2.5. Bengals team to win by a field goal. The injury reports are key in this one. Not as much Buffalo. I know spread talked about it. Like, watch out for Ed Oliver. He's a limited participant all week with the Q tag. And their tight end spot. Bet Dalton Kincaid's overs. Dawson Knox IR, Quentin Morris out. It's going to be Kincaid at that tight end spot almost all night. Could see him getting in the end zone. But then you look at Tampa Bay's injury report. Matt Filer, key offensive lineman, out this week. Didn't practice all week. Chris Godwin didn't practice up until Wednesday when he was a full participant. He's got a Q tag. Vita Vea didn't practice all week with a groin injury. He's a Q tag. If he misses, that's big for that defensive line.
That's huge. Yeah.
I think this is the spot where spread said I think Tampa just kind of comes in kind of flat. And the other thing about Tampa is the games they've won, they beat the Saints, they beat the Bears, and I believe they beat Carolina was the other bad team. It's just in the games they win, you see Baker get into pressure, and somehow, some way, he's ducking and twisting his way out of these guys' arms and throwing to wide open receivers. It kind of worked last week, but they just couldn't generate points, and Atlanta was trying to gift them that game, and they couldn't take it. Then a few weeks ago, they played the Eagles, who were able to generate pressure with 3 guys blitzing. They didn't have a shot in that game. I think Buffalo can get pressure with 3. I don't think Baker's going to be able to do much in this game. I think Buffalo puts it on him behind Diggs. Not going to lay the 8, though. Just give me him in a teaser.
Okay. I like that. And I agree with both you guys that I'm not going to touch the spread.
They beat the Vikings. That's who they beat.
Right. So I agree with you that I'm not
I'm touching the spread, Meg. I like the -9.
Okay, you are doing the spread. Okay. All right.
Since in the last 6-7 years, teams that are over a touchdown or more favored at home on Thursday Night Football, 32-23.
Oh, okay. I like that. Okay. All right. So spread's taking the Buffalo spread. Tyler likes them in a teaser. I like Buffalo.
I found my bet for this game, Meg.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we're going
It's
to
go on. It's double.
Huh?
Kincaid 5+ receptions and Bills win. Let me guess. Stephon Diggs touchdown.
I love the player
There
doubles.
you go, spread Stephon Diggs touchdown and win, because you look at it on DK.
Yep.
Minus 105, not a bad price. You scroll over to FanDuel. You're gonna give me a plus 140 on this guy to score and win?
No way.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I will gladly bet that, especially when
Already
Diggs
did on FanDuel.
He said he feels bad about busting people's parlays and everything on Twitter the other day.
Did he really?
Yeah, I can see him coming out, 100 yards, touchdown, 8 catches, puts up a nice fantasy lineup. They win the game.
I love it. Well, it's so funny.
One of my favorite tweets this week, Tyler. Someone said, these athletes should come watch our our regular jobs. He said, how mad is Anthony Davis going to be when I rack up 4 hours of screen time in a 6-hour shift?
The other good one spread are all the AI NBA pictures. Like after you got pooped on by Jokic, they posted him working at McDonald's.
Yeah.
Well, Tyler, I love first of all, I always love your performance doubles, and I love the Diggs touchdown and win. Love that way to approach that. And I already bet the Diggs touchdown anytime. And it's not on the sheet yet, but right after the show, Steve and I talked through the props and anytime touchdowns. And to Tyler's point, we talked about Dalton Kincaid over, Diggs over, and then Mike Evans over. So I'm going to answer Tim's question in chat. And then we'll get into more of the bets we like. In a DFS standpoint, if I just had to run one Tampa run back, for me, it would be Mike Evans. I'm betting his over. It's only set at 56.5. He has a 39% air yard share, almost 25% target share. Chris Godwin's banged up. The Bills defense, as you guys pointed out, is kind of banged up. I know Baker can get, frazzled under pressure, and even though he's been getting a big target share, there's been only 2 games though out of the 6 that he hasn't gotten there. So he's hit this line, I believe, 4 out of 6. So I like, or maybe they were on a bye, but anyways, he missed this line twice. I like this line for Mike Evans tonight. And I think, they're also their red zone threat, of course, too. So in a DFS standpoint, I like his 8-time touchdown. I like his prop, and I also like him if you just want one Tampa run back.
Let me throw in an opposing viewpoint there.
Sure.
If I only want one Tampa run back, I'm building a 5-1 Bills blowout build. I don't think I want to use 10K of my 50K on the run back. Okay. So the 3 options I would consider. Number 1, Godwin. Here's my idea. It's a complete blowout. They don't get in the end zone. Godwin averages more targets than Evans. I'm getting a bunch of PPR going against a soft cover 2 with the 28-point lead. Second, so that's your kind of more high-priced one. Or I would go with the kicker. That means they stalled out in the red zone a bunch of times, right? Bills win 38-12. McLaughlin gets you there. Or for the complete salary relief, this is the Buccaneers don't show up at all. Give me K-Dot at 3K. I don't need much to pay it off, right? And then I got 47K to spend on Bills. So just food for thought there when you're building these showdown slates.
One other total punt I'll add. They had just activated Chase Edmonds from IR. The Bucs did.
One name both of you guys missed, and I think this fits that script perfectly for spread, because if they're blowing them out, they're probably getting pressure on them. K-Dot ain't running routes. The kicker ain't kicking field goals. Godwin's injured. They're going to lock in on Evans. This Tompkins kid could easily catch a slant, run away for 50 yards, and he's 1,600.
Yeah.
I think that's the guy.
What do you guys think about Chase Edmonds coming off IR and just being like a little PPR back in like a negative game script?
I don't hate that idea, especially because they can't run the ball at all.
Yeah, Rachaad White's not efficient at all.
Yeah, maybe they try that, but that could also turn into Chase Edmonds and then Sean Tucker and then back to Rachaad White. And it's just like, I think it could be the 3-headed monster. Like, let's see who works well, to where the receivers, I think there's 4 guys for Tampa and that's it.
Yeah. I messed around on FanDuel. He's near min price, and then on DraftKings he's near min price. So I just say that you could even maybe do that in a 4-2 if you wanted that, or a 3-2 or something like that.
To your point, Meg, I love Evans if you're doing the contrarian Bucs build. If the Bucs win or keep this game close,
or keep it close,
is in the end zone.
Gotcha. I think it would also work in an under build.
You could take the Josh Allen script and just take the Bucs defense, and hopefully he goes just full Josh Allen mode. throws a pick six, but wins the game like 40-6.
Right. Yeah, that's true. That can happen. That's in the range of outcomes for sure. Yeah, no. I also think Evans would work in a script where it went pretty under, and you just got the main Bills guys and just Evans on the one side. I could see that in like a 4-2 or a 3-2 on FanDuel, and I built one like this on FanDuel. Whereas Allen, the two main receivers, Diggs and Kincaid, and then Evans and a cheapie.
I think Kincaid's almost your free square tonight. I feel like he should be pretty close price to Gabe Davis, who's I think around 6,800. Kincaid's there at 5K, right around the Bills defense and the kickers.
Yeah.
How much
Kincaid to me if he's not an optimal tonight, I'll be really surprised and I will not cash it all.
How much ownership is that?
I think he's in almost every build I made.
Right. What were you gonna say, Tyler?
How much ownership is this dude going to grab in the captain at 7,500? And it just allows you to just go, here's all the Bills.
Yeah, I think he should get a lot. I don't know. I haven't seen
because they priced up the high players this week too. You can't just do one punt and jam in all the stars. Mm-hmm. Everybody's priced up. Allen is a 17K cap.
I'll find a way to get them in there.
Yeah, I can already see. Boy, Chase Edmonds season. Here we go.
All you got to do is tell me I can't do it, and I will find a way to do it.
I love it.
I'm going to have the optimal with Chase Edmonds, Trey Palmer in there.
I love it. Let's go. I mean, I basically told you my FanDuel lineup that I ran with basically just doing Chase Edmonds and then getting the one piece of Bucs that I like. And again, that's kind of, I think, building for like Bills win very comfortably, but under the total. That's how I don't know, but that's how I see that going.
All I'm going to say is spread. If you put Kincaid in at captain and you put Diggs, Allen, and Tompkins in there, that leaves you 8-8 for the last two spots.
Oh.
Yeah, so you're basically just grabbing the kicker and the defense.
Wait, 8-8? It leads you 8-8?
No, for per spot. You have
per spot. Oh, yeah. Then
because Kincaid's your captain.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what his.
No, I was saying if you put Josh Allen in your captain.
Tyler, then that's the difference.
Because you've used 17 something of your 50.
Yeah, that's like when
you only got
33 left at like 33K.
I think it's just because otherwise everyone would just put him there.
Yeah. No, it'll be interesting to see how many do use Kincaid as the captain for that salary relief. I think that's really interesting way to approach it. Okay, so that takes care of how we see the game going. We talked through some showdown stuff. Now let's talk first touchdowns because Tyler hit 2 weeks ago. To spread his hit before. I think it's my turn here. I need a first touchdown hit. I've hit first touchdowns on our sheet, but not on our Thursday night show. But no, I just hope one of us get there. But I'll let you guys go first. Spread. Who's your first touchdown pick of tonight?
So many options. Give me Josh Allen plus 1,000.
I like it.
I'm not even going to break it down, right? He's a running back in the red zone.
Yes. You don't need to break it down. That makes perfect sense. And I quite honestly think they are going to start leaning on him more, to run a little bit more than he has. So I like that. Tyler, your first touchdown for tonight.
Big game, Gabe Davis, 11-1.
Ooh, I like it. Well, I was going to do Mike Evans and be contrarian. But I, of course, think the Bills are going to score first and win. And we've got to have Diggs on the sheet because I totally agree with Tyler's Stephon Diggs touchdown and win. Why not be the first touchdown? Just like you said with the Amon-Ra pick early, the first game of the season. I'll just take the stud. I'll still get him at plus 5. Yeah. I'm still getting him at almost 6 he's 5. He's 550 on on FanDuel. Do you have DraftKings pulled up, Tyler?
I have plus 550 on Bet Online.
Yeah. Okay. So he's plus 550. So yeah, I'll take those odds and just go with Stephon Diggs as my first touchdown tonight. So those are our first touchdowns. All Bills across the board. We've got Gabe Davis, Josh Allen, and Stephon Diggs. So now let's build to round out the show. A little same game parlay. I let the parlay down last week. My favorite prop of the week was, I believe, Chris Olave is over, and Just didn't get there. If he would have caught that last touchdown, it would have got us there.
You get a get out of jail free card, unlike he does, Meg.
I don't get one.
Your name ain't Chris Olave, and you didn't tell the cops you played for the Saints when you were
that video. I love.
I did. Video. They didn't believe me.
Yeah. Said I played for the Saints. The cops like, and
yeah, I love that. And that was great. Okay, you're right. I get the get out of jail free card on the Olave. He does not. Good call. So same game parlay. I'm going to try to not bust this up because you guys nailed your legs last week, but I'll let you guys go first. Again, Spread, what's your leg for our show same game parlay?
Go to Tyler.
Okay, Tyler, what's your leg for our show same game parlay?
We build this on FanDuel, right? We're targeting
on
FanDuel. Kincaid. Let's see. What is? Give me his yards, 40.5.
Love it.
Minus 110. I was going to say his receptions, but my over 3.5 is minus 196.
It's so juiced. Yeah, it's so juiced. Yeah, Steve and I were looking at that earlier. And again, everything right after the show, within 30 minutes, I'll have everything updated on the NFL betting card. All the bets we talked through, all the bets we're adding, all the Thursday night stuff, all on the card here 30 minutes after the show. Promise you. And then I'll tweet that out later. But love that. Okay, so I added Dalton Kincaid over 40.5. Spread. What's your leg?
All right. We're going with the game script. Bills blowout. Guys, they knew NBA was on tonight, and we wanted to watch Kevin Durant take on LeBron James. So they put one of the worst matchups for Thursday night football on tonight. So the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they're going to be playing from behind. They're going to be playing against a soft cover 2 designed to keep the clock running. Give me Baker Mayfield over 34.5 pass attempts.
Okay. Wait, I'm trying to find that. Where do I find that on the same game parlay on FanDuel, Tyler?
What was he looking for? I'm sorry, Meg.
The pass attempts.
Pass attempts, you can't do that on FanDuel. You could do it on DraftKings.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, you can do it on DraftKings?
I believe so, yeah. Passing attempts, you can do it on DraftKings.
Okay, then let me just switch this over to DraftKings really quick because I want to make the Spread change his parlay.
You guys like that, right? Would you agree with me?
Oh, yeah.
Pretty good cap. You
I like
that,
that.
Tyler?
What, Baker's passing attempts?
Attempts, right? That way we don't even have to worry about success.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I like that.
I think it's safer than yards or completions.
34.5 it's listed at, I'm seeing.
That's what I got too.
Yeah, 34.5. Okay, I switched it over to DraftKings. So let me go ahead and add. So we did over 34.5 passing attempts. Yes, this is on DraftKings, not FanDuel Sportsbook. And then let me add Dalton Kincaid. It's 39.5 here, so even better.
We get a yard off of it. Let's go.
Yeah, there we go. And then Mike Evans for me, because I told you that's my bet of the night. 58.5, I think, is criminally low for a guy of his talent, for the Bills' secondary and defense being banged up, and for his target share and air yards share. 39% air yard share, nearly 25% target share. He's going to be the man that they have to try to get going tonight, even if they want to keep this game remotely competitive. So with that, you get plus 470, and I will get that up on the sheet as well for our show parlay. And hopefully Evans doesn't let us down here because I like this bet. I think it's getting us home. So, okay, final thoughts, guys, for tonight for week 8. Spread, final thoughts that you've got for the people.
I don't know if I've seen a year where the 5th best team in the NFL is as close in talent, ability, and my power rankings as number 20.
Yeah.
The parity, if you said I want to achieve parity in the NFL, you got a Nobel Prize for parity, buddy, because these teams are really close. These lines are really close. We've dialed back the volume just a little bit, and I know Clyde's going to hate it, but these guys are putting up good numbers, and we're coming pretty close to it. Enjoy the week of the NFL, and, hey, discretion is the better part of valor. They have to put up a line on every single game. We get to choose what we bet. This is the week to use that discretion, that ability to choose, the axiom of choice. Use that to your advantage.
I like that. That's good reminder and a betting lesson for everybody to keep in mind as we go into week 8. I can't believe it's already week 8. Tyler, final thoughts that you have for week 8.
Yes. Spreads on the page of let's tell everybody, just be discreet. Don't go crazy. Now look at the board, and it's teaser week. There's a lot of teaser lines on this board, and I think you could tease the Bengals, you could tease the Chiefs, you could tease the Chargers, you could tease the Lions, you could tease, who else could we tease here? The Cowboys. Could even tease the Steelers up if you like them, the Eagles. There's a bunch of teasers you could build this week. I think you got to get those built because I think we're going to make a ton of money on teasers.
All right. I like it. So
as totals go down, teasers become more profitable. Take advantage of that.
Okay. See, these guys give good advice. I learn from
Plus
these guys
6
every
is
day.
worth a lot more in a game of 38 than 54.
That's a great point.
Right?
That's an excellent point. Yeah. No, that makes a ton of sense. My final thoughts are, I think, like spread we were talking about earlier, these unders are, hitting at a much higher clip, but so yes, approach things carefully. With that said, do approach things a lot through the prop market. So I have seen I'm seeing a lot of prop spots or players that I like. So I'm already zeroing in. We've been doing well, pretty much having a winning record the last few weeks on our props. So be sure to check out the full betting card. Tonight, right after the show, you'll have everything that we've gone through today, Thursday night stuff. But by Saturday, you'll have all of our props, and I think that's a good spot to get some edge as well. So also, again, these guys are on Nuke the House every weekday besides Tuesday. Check them out there. Nuke the House on YouTube for NBA content. Every Tuesday with me, NBA. Every Thursday here, NFL. And again, all their NBA, NFL stuff under the sports betting tab, our NFL betting card, all free on fanspeak.com. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Have a great and profitable week 8, and we will see you next time.